Everyone. In today's session, we shall know about IaaS. IaaS stands for Infrastructure as a Service. So today, let us see what is it, why it's useful, and let's do a quick demo using VirtualBox and Vagrant. Okay, so now let's discuss what is an IaaS. So, IaaS is a cloud computing model where a cloud provider delivers virtualized computing resources over the internet. So, instead of buying and managing physical servers, storage devices, networking hardware, and data center space, organizations rent these resources on demand from a cloud provider. The provider manages the underlying physical infrastructure while the users can configure and manage their virtual infrastructure, like the operating systems, applications, and middleware. Now let's look into the key components of IaaS. So there are mainly four components. One is the virtual machines. So virtual machines can be scaled up or scaled down based on their workload. Users can create and run virtual servers within the choice of OS. The second component is storage. So, it provides cloud based storage that can handle structured and unstructured data. Structured data includes databases, and unstructured includes media and files. It is often highly redundant and distributed for durability. The third key component is networking. Virtual networks, load balancers, and firewalls provided by the cloud vendor helps in a good infrastructure. Enable secure communication between virtual machines, apps, and users. It also helps in other services like monitoring, backup, disaster recovery, and security tools are offered alongside. So now let's look into the examples of IaaS. So first one is the Amazon Web Service. It provides us EC2 and EBS. Next is the Microsoft Azure. It provides virtual machines, Azure Virtual Network, and blob storage. And the Google Cloud Platform gives us Google Compute Engine, cloud storage, and virtual private cloud. Now let's look into the uses of IaaS. So IaaS is used mainly for its scalability. That is, resources can be increased or decreased instantly based on their demand. You can as you go. As it is a pay as you go model, users only pay the resources that they consume. The next one is the flexibility. Users can choose their own operating systems, middleware, and applications. They have the freedom to configure servers the way they want, unlike managed servers like platform as a service. Next point is that it helps in quick provisioning. It is ideal for testing environments, developing projects, or disaster recovery. And the next one is reliability and high availability. To ensure uptime and redundancy in case of failures, it is highly available, and cloud providers distribute infrastructure across multiple data centers. The last one is the global reach. Cloud providers have data centers worldwide, so business can deploy resources closer to end users for low latency. Now let's see when to use an IaaS. So applications with variable or unpredictable workloads can use IaaS. Enterprises needing disaster recovery solutions without maintaining a second data center. Developers who quickly want to create and test environments. Now let's look into the demo objective. So today we are going to perform a demo with the help of VirtualBox and background. So today's goal is to show that how an IaaS works by simulating it in our own computer. So we shall create a virtual server and connect it through a networking and store a simple website from it. Now let's look into the steps which is used and tools that is used. For tools, we use VirtualBox and Vagrant. So VirtualBox is nothing but a software that runs virtual computers, and Vagrant is the tool that makes easy to integrate and manage those virtual computers. The first step is to get these tools, and the second step is to create a virtual machine. So you have to create a folder, and you will have to tell Vagrant that I want We can run commands and automatically set up our virtual computer alongside the virtual box. Next step is to connect the virtual machine. So we should set up a rule. Like if someone visits a local host, we should direct it directly. So this shows the networking part of IaaS. And the last one is the store websites files. So we put them in a simple index.html or something like that, and the files stay on the virtual machine. So when someone visits our server, they will visit our website. Now let's look into the advantages of IaaS. So IaaS is a cost efficient in terms of real cloud platforms because you pay only what you use, like hours of a virtual machine or GB of storage. The next is the flexible scaling. You can add or remove resources anytime based on your needs. Reduce hardware maintenance. No need to manage physical servers, cooling, or electricity. And it helps in faster deployments because businesses and students can launch servers in minutes instead of waiting weeks to buy and install machines.
Now let's see the project workflow. First step is to create project folder with the website which includes index.html, CSS, JS and images. The second step is to write the vagrant file to provision the virtual machine and install Apache. The third step is to forward the VM port 80 to the host port 8081, and fourth step is to sync the local website that we created with the virtual machine. The fifth step is to run vagrant up command for the virtual machine to auto provision and serve the website. So the sixth step is to access the website via the localhost 8081 link. So now let's see the project demo. So the first step is to download the virtual box from Oracle website. After installing the virtual box, we have to install Vagrant on the Windows machine. So for that, go to this website and install AMD64 for the Windows machine. Now go to the command prompt and create a project folder named Cloud IaaS Demo. And to initialize this Vagrant project with the Ubuntu box, we use this command vagrant init ubuntu /focal64. This generates the Vagrant file where we define our VM setup. In the project folder, I have created a website folder containing index.html, CSS, JS and images. This is a simple website containing a shoe website called Stylish Online Store. Next, I have to update the Vagrant file to forward port 80 from the VM to port 8081 on my host and sync my local website folder to the VM web root and install Apache Web Server automatically during provisioning. Now I start the virtual machine using the vagrant up command, and the vagrant will now download Ubuntu, install Apache and copy my website files. Once the VM is running, I can open my browser and go to http localhost 8081. Here you can see my website on the Stylish Online Store hosted inside the VM. Let's talk about VM management. Just like Cloud IaaS, I can stop the virtual machine with vagrant halt command, restart it with vagrant up provision command, or completely destroy it with vagrant destroy. This shows how resources can be provisioned and deallocated dynamically. So that completes my demo. We successfully provisioned an IaaS virtual machine using VirtualBox and Vagrant and hosted a static website. Thank you.